Saying I am a disciple of my Guru will not work. Nothing will come from this. Only if we follow the instructions of Guru, we follow the example of Guru, and then we can call ourselves a disciple. So really this is the goal of a disciple. Guru Mukha Padma Bhaktya Chitete Koriyarikya. Those words emanating from the mouths of sadhus and Guru, we should take them into our heart. This means that we should implement them in our life so their words become our very life. In this way we become a true disciple. So this is my prayer, hearing the Katha of Maharaji of Srila Gurudev for so many years. Simply hearing, so many people think that, oh, I'm a disciple, I've heard so much from Gurudev, I've recorded it all in my tape recorder or taken notes. Srila Gurudev used to tell a story that if a Guru comes to a disciple's house and he says, oh, I'm very thirsty, please give me a glass of water. And the bogus disciple will sit there and say, yes, Gurudev, very good. But he will not give Gurudev a glass of water because he is saying, I'm hearing you, Gurudev, but he is not following the instructions. So Gurudev will continue to ask until finally what will happen? He'll go and ask another disciple who will actually listen to him. The other disciple said, yes, Gurudev, I'm taking my notes. You want a glass of water? I'm such a great disciple. Gurudev has given me such a special order. Posted on Facebook. Gurudev told me to get him a glass of water. But still he's not getting Gurudev a glass of water. So Gurudev has told us so much, sadhus have told us so much, but are we following or are we not following? So eventually Gurudev, he will go to another disciple, Vaishnava will go to another place if he sees that disciples, devotees aren't sincerely following. They're not only simply making a show of coming to the temple, putting on tilak and dhoti, acting like they're listening to Harikatha, but really they have no sincere desire to follow. So Gurudev, he used to tell a story that once if there's an expert medic, that means someone who's expert like on a battlefield, and he's going from person to person, all the wounded soldiers, a very expert medic, he will see one soldier, if he has a life threatening wound, like he's just on his deathbed, and then there's another soldier lying next to him who has not such a serious wound, more chance of survival, and expert medic will go to the one who has more chance of survival. So Gurudev gave this example saying that if I see there's some disciples who have more tendency to follow, they have more chance, they're listening to my katha and following, automatically my mercy will flow to that person. So we can see that for those who are not able to take seriously the orders of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, and to follow them wholeheartedly, but still the mercy of Guru and Sadhu, actually it's not of this material world. It is completely transcendental. It is said, Sadhunam samachitanam ashrutaram matkrita atmana darshanano bhaveda bhanda pumso akshno saviturjita. The Vaishnava Sadhu of a Mahabhagavad is like the sun. The sun has no partiality. We are hearing that Mahabhagavad Vaishnava, they have no partiality. Just like the sun, he distributes its rays and his warmth equally to everyone. So the sadhus are the same way. Even though how many times we fail, how many times we fall down and we disobey their orders, still we see that even if they're not physically present, manifest before us, they always arrange for their disciples. Their affection is so much more than the affection of a normal mother to his child in this world, because after this birth, the mother will forget her child, the child will forget their mother. But a Vaishnava's affection is different. Vaishnava sambandha aprakrita skandha kapu nahimani mayara vaibhav. It has no touch of Maya, the affection of Vaishnava or Guru to his Shishya. Srila Gurudev said, life chakshudana diloke janme janme Prabhu say, life after life he is my Guru, and Guru says, life after life he is my disciple. Once Gurudev, people were asking Gurudev, how is this possible? Because in my next life, will I have you as a Guru or not? After you leave this world, will I accept another Guru or not? So many people have this confusion. And Gurudev says, actually only fools will have this confusion. Only people who are uneducated. That person who has dedicated his heart to his Guru, he can only be at the lotus feet of his Guru, and there can never be any doubt that comes. And if he is thus dedicated 100% to the lotus feet of his Guru, serving the lotus feet of his Guru, then everything he sees in the rest of this life, whether Sri Gurupada Padma is manifest or unmanifest, it is all only Srila Gurudev. Only Srila Gurudev's hand is coming. So sadhus traveling here like Bhakti Swarup Sridhar Maharaj, really I see him nothing more as Srila Gurudev, like his right hand, his left hand coming and giving us the same mercy as Srila Gurudev was also distributing. Really there's nothing different. If we can really become dedicated to Guru, then everything is his mercy. Even obstacles that come in our life, we see this also as Guru's mercy. So this is what sadhus preach. They come here like Brajanath Prabhu was saying, Mahanta svabhava e tarite pamara nija karje nahi tabu jana taragar. Vaishnavas have no business traveling around the world. We think, oh, some Vaishnavas, they're building big temples in India, they come to the Western world because we have so much money and they like to collect. Gurudev told one quick story that once there was a sadhu traveling around on bhiksha collecting alms, and he came to the house of a wealthy grihastha, and he said, Bhiksham Dehi, please give alms, and this grihastha started to abuse the sadhu. Oh, you're supposed to be looking out for the welfare of us, but you are coming, you are taking from us. You are only taking from society, you are giving nothing. How do you call yourself a renunciate? And that sadhu gave the answer. Who is a renunciate? Who is a tyagi and who is a dhani? Who is a renunciate and who is wealthy? You are considering yourself wealthy. Actually, I am the real dhani. I have the real wealth. Everything that belongs to Krishna also belongs to his devotee. Bhagavata guna bhakta hridaya sanchar. Krishna is Sadaishvarya Purna. He has all the opulences of the entire universe. Also, he shares that with his devotee. So he said, actually, I am the one with the true wealth and you are the renunciate. You also, this inheritance belongs to you, but you have rejected it all. You have renounced everything, and you are taking one woman as your wife, 2 children as your kids, and one very, very small house as your residence, but my house is the whole world. Every single person in this world is my family, and I have all the wealth in the world. So sadhus, they have no business traveling around the world for themselves. Only they come to give mercy to the fallen souls. So it's not actually the proper mentality that we think that, oh, a sadhu is coming here, I'm hosting a sadhu in my home. It's actually not a proper way to think. Vaishnavas, Maharaji was speaking the other day, Vishva Purna Sukhayate Vidhi Mahindra Adishcha Kitayate Ya Karunya Katakshavai Bhavatam Tam Goram Ivastume. Vaishnavas, they share the wealth of Bhagavan. Therefore, when they look at even devatas like Indra, Shiva, they are simply like a small insect. That's how much wealth is within a Vaishnava's heart. It cannot even be compared to demigods. So Vaishnavas coming here and we think, oh, we need to show them my house, how wonderful is my family, what a great house I have. Actually, Prahlad Maharaj calls this Griham Andhakupam. This is like a black, dark, blind well. How can we sadhus come here and say, look at my beautiful blind well? It's actually not proper. Vaishnavas are coming from a place where all wealth is available, and they're giving that to us. So actually they are coming to lift us up from this well. We are not coming to keep them in this well. Gurudev always used to say, when he used to come to all the places, he said, thank you very much for welcoming me to your home, inviting me to your home, but now most importantly, I am inviting you to my home. Please come and leave this place. This is called Griham Andhakupam. This is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. This is a place of misery. Happiness cannot be found here. You should come to my home. My home is only in Vrindavan. Gurudev always used to give invitation to everyone. Everyone please come at least once a year, if not twice, to the Holy Dham. So this is the message. Actually, we should always have desire to go to Sri Vrindavan. And Gurudev used to say, Yad Gatva Nani Vartante Tad Dhama Paramamam. If we come to Vrindavan, then never again we will return to this place. So this should be our prayer to all sadhus. This is the katha that they give. Gurudev used to say, when the katha of a Vaishnava is happening, this is the most important thing. If we are sitting in the presence of a Vaishnava speaking this Hari Katha, this is the perfection of our life. We heard Maharaj say when he first came that Shukadeva Goswami, after 6-7 days, he asked Parikshit Maharaj if he was hungry or thirsty. Parikshit Maharaj said, Naishati dusahakshunam tyaktvodam api badhate pibantam mukham vojam putam Hari Kathamritam. I'm not thirsty, I'm not hungry, the only thing because I'm completely filled drinking the nectar of your Hari Katha. So this is greatly magnanimous Vaishnavas, this is what their occupation is. This is what their service is. And they are the most magnanimous, the most, Maharaj called the greatest donors. Bhuri Rajana Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. Because they give this Katha to us. So it is our only duty as disciples, it is our only duty as hearers. Only one thing we need to concentrate is sitting at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, hearing their Hari Katha. How many years Maharaji has been serving his Guru, studying Shastra? So many things since he was a very young boy. All these things have matured now in the form of fruits, ripe fruits, and they are naturally falling. And those people who are intelligent, they will come and sit under this tree and take these fruits. This is our only sadhana. Just like someone, it is not necessary for us to perform all the same sadhana and to grow so much like this tree after 10s, 20s of years doing all these services. Really only all this fruit is coming naturally from the lips of a sadhu. Our only duty is to sit at his feet and to take this Hari Katha. So this is my prayer that again and again, Maharaj, if you come here, if we are here, this home, this temple is always yours. It is not ours, really. Nothing is mine, only trying to offer in the service of Guru and Vaishnavas. So please always feel welcome. And gracefully, if you could come again and again, then our lives will become successful. Hare Krishna.
You happy? I'm very glad to come the first time to Hawaii. It's very important that you know that Maharaj visited 15 years in Mexico. 16 years this year. He's 16 years, so Hawaiian devotees, they have to catch up. Yeah. Otherwise, it's very important. So many devotees in Mexico has very helped to see Guru Maharaj. Oh, sorry for my English. It's very broken English, but forgive me. So I have witnessed that Gurudev blessed Bhakti Saraswati Maharaj 3 days before Gurudev departed for this martyrdom world. It was very intense. We were there on Parachanabed and Naharibas there. And I feel that Gurudev give it to me some hint to who I follow with heart, with no doubts. And that was very, very important to me. And I hope that Srila Bhakti Saraswati Maharaj given us this kind of jewels in his heart that Gurudev and his Gurudev planted in his heart. He has so much jewels, and it also is very. We are very lucky because it's also very young and had so many years to share with us so many wonderful kata and forward jewels. So thank you for Nari Hari Prabhu to come forward to pay the ticket for Sridhar Maharaj to come to Hawaii. And I hope this is the beginning, like many people say, the beginning of many years to come. But because we felt that Hawaiian devotees need so much help, we know. So we need, I include myself. So thank you very much again, and please forgive us if you have any fault. But I know you are very kind, and thank you very much.
Really, I do nothing. What my Gurudev, Prabhupada, Gurudev Narayana Goswami Maharaj, what they want, that is going on. They are making me instrument to do. So I am just the instrument of service. So what they inspire, what they bless, that is only going on. Otherwise, I have nothing to do. Only they are doing. So I never expected to come here also. But they arrange it. No, you have to go there. Because I normally not arrange it. Everything is being arranged automatically. I never try. Like Nehru Prabhu went to LA, then he invited last year. But I could not, 2 years before. But I could not come. Then again he went to New Brother. So Maharaj, you did not come. Then I could not deny. And I said, this year I will go. I gave the word. After that, I said to Brajanath Prabhu, then Brajanath Prabhu immediately booked the ticket. For conversation, means doing that new Braja festival. That which month that was? Rathayatra. That time he booked all the ticket, confirmed the program. So I am not automatically he Nirari Prabhu and Brajanath Prabhu, they are doing means Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Narayana Goswami, they are doing this. Because I am not trying to do anything for this. I am just trying only, whatever they will arrange, I will do something. I concentrate mind desire in their desire, I have no personal desire. Tat sukhe sukhitum. Tat sukhe sukhitum means what is pleasure, in which thing, in which service, which desire they are happy, I am considering my desire. So I have no independent desire. That's why they are doing, I am serving only. So credit should go to them only. Credit is not to me. So I am happy that many devotees are assembled here and this room is full. When Shravan Kumar Prabhu was sitting, when Gurudev was coming also, all devotees were like this. So I want what Gurudev was desiring, that should be continued. Means all devotees, especially Gurudev's disciples and Prabhupada disciples, and it does not mean if other disciples all should unite and try to practice Krishna consciousness unitedly. Without the consideration of creed, caste, sampradaya, guru and country. If any Vaishnava, all Vaishnavas will unite and practice, then only Guru Parampara will be happy, Krishna will be happy, Mahaprabhu will be happy. So, then our watering will be perfect, without any offense. So, I am very thankful to all devotees here, and thankful to Nirari Prabhu for inviting here, thankful to Brajanath Prabhu to make all the arrangement of tickets, etc. And to all devotees, Nirguna Prabhu and all other devotees who participated here, helped here, and to Shravan Kumar Prabhu, special to make arrangement here, and he is good servant. He knows how to cook prasad, very good tasty prasad. Because he got training from Premananda Prabhu, and Premananda Prabhu is a very good servant. He knows how to manage, how to cook, everything. So, when we went one day here, we came here, he prepared prasad. It was a very good taste like India. Paneer rasa, etc. So, his heart is also, I understood, he is very good serving mentality. Because he has got blessings of Gurudev. He has got blessings of Premananda Prabhu and all other Vaishnavas. He spent a lot of time in India also. So I want all devotees should continue again like Gurudev time. Then Gurudev will be happy. Don't be separated, don't be negligence for practicing. Be again enthusiastic. And with sufficient enthusiasm, we should practice like Rupa Goswami said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, a nectar of instruction, Utsaha. We should have enthusiasm. Otherwise, we cannot improve in devotion. Because otherwise, Bhakti will not proceed. By enthusiasm only, Bhakti will be improved. Why? Utsaha Nishchaya Dharja Tattat Karma Pravartana. Sangatyaga Satavrute Sarvi Bhakti Prasiddhyati. So if no enthusiasm for practice, no taste for chanting, no taste for listening Harikatha, no taste for association of Vaishnavas, then Bhakti will not improve and knowledge. So this is necessary. So we have topic to Rupa Shiksha, so nothing speak to more here. Otherwise we have no time to speak Rupa Shiksha. So it is forcing me to go towards Rupa Shiksha. All the many things coming to speak. So I am thanking to you all, especially Nirari Prabhu and Nirguna Prabhu and all senior devotees of Prabhupada and Gurudev and Shravan Kumar Prabhu, Brajanath Prabhu, Radhananda Prabhu, Lakshmi Prabhu, Gaurasundar Prabhu, all, and whose name I remember, I mentioned, whose name I don't remember. You should understand in this all are including. So all of you came, so Gurudev will be very happy because If you would not have come here, then it would not have happened to speak Harikatha. So your presence made successful this program. So your presence will give pleasure to Gurudev. If you would not present, then it was impossible to discuss about Rupa Goswami's teaching given by Mahaprabhu, which is very near and dear and very favorite to Gurudev. Gurudev, I know Gurudev is very favorite to Rupa Goswami. His favorite Goswami is Rupa Goswami. Wherever he goes, without speaking something about Rupa Goswami, he cannot stop. Something you will find sure from Rupa Goswami. Any word or any sentence, one sentence also he will spell it. So he will be very happy if you follow Rupa Goswami and his teachings. And that also unitedly again to please you. Then he will be very happy. And if he will be happy, there will be no problem at all. Why? It is said in Padma Purana, Harorushte Gurustrata, Gururushte na kaschana, tasma sarva prajatnena Gurumeva prasade. Means if Lord Krishna is angry to any devotee, that is not big problem. If Krishna is angry also, you should not be worried. Solution is there. So don't be fearful. If Krishna is angry, he may do something but that is not very dangerous. He may not do something also. The condition is if Guru is pleased, Guru strata. If Krishna is angry or unsatisfied, Guru can make praise to Krishna and protect the disciple. But Guru Rushte na kastana. But if Gurudev will be displeased, no one can protect him. If Gurudev is displeased and angry, unsatisfied, then you will have no blessing. Then if no blessing, Jasya prasadat bhagavad prasad. Jasya aprasadat navati kutopi. So, if Gurudev is blessing, then only Krishna will bless. If Gurudev is not blessing, then no one will bless. Oh, he is a Gurudev, so no one will accept. Tasma sarva prajatnena Gurumeva prasadayat. That's why by all of our means and our attempts, we should try to please Guru. Then how Guru will please me? If we follow his instructions. What he taught us, what he instructed us, what he was speaking, all we should follow. Then it is the only best medicine to please him. Otherwise, whatever you do, if you don't follow his instruction, don't follow what his teachings he has given, then he will not be pleased. So to please him, we should, and his favorite desire is mostly one should engage in Harikatha, chanting, Sarvija Vaishnava, etc. If no Harikatha, he is not chanting. He is very fond of Harikatha, I know. That's why he is only one who is celebrating during Jhulana Yatra about glories of Rupa Goswami in Vrindavan, few days, beginning from Jhulan till end of the Jhulan. So about glories of Rupa Goswami, he is doing only this, others may do only one day, no more. But he is organizing this ceremony of Jhulan ceremony, including Rupa Goswami's disappearance and his glorious discussion in Vrindavan every year. I witnessed, I attended many times. All of you attend later, but I attended when he started beginning. So I know that how he is interested towards Rupa Goswami. So if you mark in detail, every lecture you will find something from Rupa Goswami. Without speaking Rupa, he cannot stop himself. And Anya Vilasita Sunya is must. And many times I heard from his lectures, and Brajanath Prabhu said, if you don't know Anya Vilasita Sunyam verse, what he said? You are not my disciple. Understand? So, how will you know Anya Vilasita Sunyam? If we study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Because this Anya Vilasita Sunya verse is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami. And then he presented in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu what Mahaprabhu spoke at Prayaga to Rupa Goswami. Then Rupa Goswami remembered that and put in the scripture, particular scripture, that is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Then Kaviraj Goswami to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and put in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we are discussing at Rupa Shiksha. But originally it was not in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Originally it was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami. He presented in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Gurudev says, if you don't know, you are not my disciple. Similarly, if you don't know Rupa Sikha, you are not my disciple. Why? What is Rupa Goswami Sikha? Anyamilata Sunnam. Without Anyamilata Sunnam, Rupa Sikha is incomplete. So, because without following Anyamilata Sunnam, we cannot be pure devotee. We cannot be pure devotee because that is the definition of pure devotion. That's why he was paying attention. And he stressed more for Anyamilata. Why? Because we want pure devotion, that is under guidance of Rupa Goswami. And he was always paying attention to Radha Dasya, to become Kinkariya for Radharani, that is under guidance of Rupa Mandiri. Why? Because among all the maid servant or Sakhis of Radharani, Lalita is the commander-in-chief. Without Lalita's permission, we have no authorization to attend Radha Krishna service. So, if you neglect Lalita Sakhi, you cannot enter in Radharani or Krishna's grove to get service. Lalita will engage to Mandiri. Without her permission, we have no access to enter. Because every day Lalita's duty is who will do which service, and he is a supervisor. She is a supervisor. So she is looking what is going on, everything is okay or not. And among Lalita has many followers and gopis and mandiris. And Rupa Mandiri is dearmost mandiri to Lalita Sakhi. So if we don't please to Rupa Mandiri, Lalita will be displeased. So if we try to please Rupa Mandiri, then Rupa Mandiri can help to go to Lalita Sakhi. If Lalita is pleased, present in front of Radha Krishna Dwar for service. So how important Rupa Goswami and Rupa Mandiri, we should know this. Don't take it as a light. If you take light, then we cannot have access to acquire Gurudev's desire, that is Radha Rasya. Gurudev's desire is Radha Rasya. So that is only possible when Rupa Goswami is pleased. And Rupa Goswami, how he will please? When we will follow Rupanuga Guru Vargas, our Guru Vargas, Gurudev and Guru Vargas, then only we will have opportunity and access and qualification to go to Rupa Mandiri. Who will take us to Rupa Mandiri? We don't know Rupa Mandiri who is. She is very long distance. She is in Golok Vrindavan. We are in Hawaii. How we can go? Understand? Only Gurudev can take. And Vaishnavas, sadhus, they can help. Otherwise you cannot go ourselves. So I am not going in detail to ask. We will go to the point where we kept yesterday. Otherwise no time. So yesterday we were discussing what are the obstacles to go and to attain this Radha Dasya in Golok Vrindavan. Don't think that is only the obstacles for bhajan etc. For devotional kripa means to go to Radha Dasya, to attain the service of divine couple in Golok Vrindavan. So this kripa is nothing. This kripa is shelter for all. By catching this shelter, we will go towards Golok Vrindavan. Without shelter, how we will go to? So this devotional kripa is shelter for all. We will hold and this kripa will lift up till Golok Vrindavan. Not only Golok Vrindavan, as long as we are not attaining service of Radha Krishna under guidance of Lalita Sakhi and Rupa Mandiri, it will not release. If we are sincere and non-stop watering it, sure it will give it. There is consequence result to give this. But if we don't water it, then we cannot go. Because we have to penetrate this universe, then Golok Vrindavan will be there. Yesterday we were discussing. If we don't water regularly, then it will not nourish, it will not grow. Then how we will penetrate the universe, then go to Golok Vrindavan. That's why regular watering is necessary. And what are the obstacles we should know and try to avoid this. If obstacles we will not try to avoid, offenses we will not try to avoid by making the fence which is very strong and stout, which will not allow any animal, including mad elephant, then our kripa will be protected. Yesterday we discussed till this, and today we will discuss after that what is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami. Mahaprabhu said then again to Rupa Goswami, किंतु यदि तार संगे उठे उपशाखा भुक्ति मुक्ति वांछा जत असंख्य तार लेखा. While you are watering with the devotional creeper, if unwanted creepers which you are called weed. What? Because Prabhupada made commented unwanted creeper. But what is that spelling? Weed. W. Weed. Because Prabhupada's commentary, unwanted creeper. So whatever may be weed or unwanted thing, no problem. The most important is we should know the point what is that. That is upasaka in Sanskrit. Upasaka. So if we don't uproot the weeds or unwanted creepers according to A.C. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada, then we will be very big problem to attain this Radhavasya or service of Radha Krishna or Mahaprabhu. So what are they? We should know this. Then Mahaprabhu said to Rupa Goswami, what are they? Kintu yati lakta sange uthe upasakha bhukti mukti vansha yata asankhya tara lekha. What are the upasakhas? Weeds or unwanted creepers? They are bhukti, the desire to gratify the senses. We have many lifetimes experience of sense gratification. That's why we cannot stop it immediately. For is no end for sense gratification, no attempt, no endeavor is necessary. Spontaneous come to the mind. But for giving of this, we need endeavor. To remember Krishna, to give of this, we need to make practice, arrangement, how to control this. But to get sense gratification and desire to gratify the senses, it is spontaneous, automatically will come to the mind 24 hours a day. Even in sleeping condition it will come. So for this, no endeavor necessary. Why it is coming, you know? Because we are acquainted and habituated so many lifetimes that now if you don't want also automatically coming to the mind. For example, I am giving. If you habituate one thing again and again 24 hours a day and night, automatically when you sleep that will come to your mind. Everything. But we have habituated for sense gratification many lifetimes. So if we don't want now also, that is coming. So how to delete this from the mind? Now we have to put something new. Now we are putting less quantity, so it has no influence to delete that. Because for example, we are chanting few minutes and some devotee few hours. But in comparison to our practice, material activities, material thinkings, gossipings and projects are going on more. So that is taking long time. And which we have habituated a long time, that will come to the mind more. And we have not only one lifetime, many lifetimes habit of this. So that is affecting although in this life. So what is the way to stop this? Only one way. Now we have to try to stop this and add new things. That is Krishna consciousness. That is remember more and more about Krishna. Chant more and more about Krishna, Guru and Vaishnava. As more and more we will practice this will come in mind, and when this remembrance will come, that will go out automatically. But if we don't add more and more, you cannot stop this. It will go to next life again. You cannot stop. We have more habitual. We have a habit of not only one life, two life, three life, many lifetimes. So that is very powerful sanskar created in our mind. So that cannot be stopped easily now. Only by addition of listening of Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas, Harinam, form, qualities and pastimes, as more and more we will put in this mind, then when it will be filled by these objects, then previous object will be deleted. Like nowadays in science also, when you put new thing, then previous is going, finishing and deleting automatically. Or he will ask, we have no space, you have to delete something. If you tell yes, then previous will go, new will be present. Folder. In the folder, if you put something, if folder is empty, it will keep. If no empty, then it will ask, your folder is full, you need to delete something. And he will ask yes or no. If you tell no, then you cannot put new thing. If you say yes, then previous will take out and put new. Similarly, our folder of mind and soul and heart filled with previous already. So it is full. So it needs to be delete something. But we want to put this, but no space is there. We have no space for Guru, Vaishnava, Krishna to listen his glories, to chant his name, form, qualities, to put inside heart. Our heart is filled with material things of previous sanskar. And we don't want that. We don't want to go, we want to keep that. Because Gurudev is saying, Vaishnava is saying, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't. But we are listening only orally and intellectually, but not going to the heart to keep this. So it is going out. When we will try to keep in heart, then previous he will ask, I have to delete this. Yes, you delete that. Then it will go inside. And as more and more we will keep new things, all this, then previous sanskar will be destroyed. Then at that time, it cannot influence you, any senses and any sense gratification. For this, need necessary practice and habit. And that is called upasakhas, all these. Upasakha means weeds or unwanted creepers. What are they? Bhukti, the desire to gratify the senses. It is not easy to give up now. We have to habituate, little delete. Slowly, few. Then put new. Then one day will come when folder of heart will fill with this and it will be deleted from previous. Then when it will be deleted all and filled with new, that is name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna and glories of Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas, then you need not endeavor. Automatically spontaneous 24 hours you will remember. No endeavor is necessary. That's why when the devotee will go to Asakti and Bhava stage, no attempt necessary, spontaneous remembering. You cannot stop him. But a neophyte devotee, you cannot inspire him immediately. You have to speak again and again, do, chant. Okay, I chant, but no chanting. Again you have to speak, chant, please chant. But when you go higher stage, Ruchi, after Ruchi, you no need to speak, he will chant himself. You cannot stop him. So for this, we should follow Rupa Goswami. But Rupa Goswami Shiksha, if you don't go deeply, we cannot realize. Because Rupa Goswami's teaching is not in detail. Because Mahaprabhu had no time. He had only 10 days and the topic is long. So Mahaprabhu gave very briefly. So he did not explain in detail. So unless we pay attention, we cannot understand in detail. And that is also by ourselves we may not. Without the blessings of Vaishnavas, Goswamis and previous Acharyas' blessing and studying under their guidance, we cannot have sufficient knowledge, appropriate knowledge about Rupa Shiksha. Because it is not very clear, only like abbreviated form, very abbreviated, very condensed. So then Mahaprabhu will speak to expand this. I spoke you very briefly, but you have to expand. So without Rupa Goswami's blessing, we cannot know this. Because he expanded. Mahaprabhu spoke only briefly. That's why if we don't go deeply by guidance of Guru and Vaishnavas, we cannot understand all this in detail. So what are the upasakhas? Means unwanted creepers or weeds, we should know. That is sense gratification. Means the desire to enjoy this material world. Which is unavoidable, very difficult, but not impossible. Not impossible. Don't think it is impossible. No. Nowhere told it is impossible, but difficult. When become possible? When we will surrender at the lotus feet of Gurudev, Vaishnavas, Mahaprabhu, Radhakrishna, Nityananda Prabhu, then by their blessing it will be very easier. Why? Prabhupada Saraswati said, Durdantendriya Kala Sarpapatali Prutkat Dastrayate. I am not going to all verses. Like Kaivalyam Narakayate, Tridaspu Akasa Puspayate, Durdantendriya Kala Sarpapatali Prutkhata Dastrayate, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, Vidhi Mahendradisha Kitayate, Jab Karunya Kataksha Vaibhatam, Tam Gaurameva Stuma. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bless, then only this will be possible. So we should pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, always. And Radha Krishna, because none different from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Radha Krishna combining, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then when Radha Krishna are separating, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu separating, then Radha Krishna. When Radha Krishna combining, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no difference. Both of them are one. So we should pray to Radha Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, our Gurudev and Guru Vargas, Guru Parampara, and cry for the mercy. Then we will be qualified to control this. Why? Then it will be possible. Durdantenjo Kala Sarvapati Trutkha Dastrayate. All the senses are like very dangerous, poisonous cobra. Cobra is very dangerous. Why? Because if cobra bites, one will die. If other snake bites, that is sometimes can be surviving. And there are some snakes who bites, but it is not causing the death. But cobra is very dangerous. It can cause that death, only one bite. So our senses are also considered like a cobra. Why? Durdanta. Dur means difficult. Danta means to control or subdue. Very difficult. Durdantanika Kala Sarpa Patali. Sarpa. All Patali means all the senses are dangerous serpents like cobra. So very difficult. Like cobra is very dangerous. But don't kill the cobra. Just take help of an expert. Snake charmer who can control the cobra. Because snake charmer has two medicines or remedy to subdue the cobra. What are they? He has a mantra and one herb which is called Gada in Sanskrit. Gada like looking like ginger. If you have ginger looking like ginger, that is Gada, then just when cobra coming to bite, just you show him, then he will become like yes. If you have that, just you try to practice, bring that Gada. If cobra coming to bite, just you show him, then he will become like this. So snakes are they have this. So when coming and showing this, then becoming down, then catching or applying some mantra, then taking out the poisonous teeth. Then when it poisonous teeth was there, it was very dangerous and it was causing the death. When uprooted the teeth, then he became helpful to the snake charmer for his ending. You go to India, you will find many snake charmers, only by snakes they are earning money and living their life. Especially in Brajamandal also go to Ramghat. Yes, many brothers they have snakes and they are showing snakes and asking money. Yes. Why? Because now snake has no poisonous teeth. So it is helping, he became friend now. Now he became his one cause of his life and helping his life to survive. Similarly, we no need to kill the senses like so-called Gyanis and so-called renunciate order personalities. They are thinking we should not give anything to the senses, then become very dry and it has nothing to enjoy. Because no energy, then he will become very dry and no energy, so he will have no desire to get by the senses. But it is not bona fide process. By this you cannot last long. When you are not eating, when you are fasting, then due to weakness maybe you are down. But when again you will eat, again senses will be acting and you will desire to get by the senses again. So this is not bona fide process. Just take out the senses poisonous teeth. What is that poisonous teeth here? Which causes the death? Where is the poison? The desire to gratify the senses in this material world. Don't try to enjoy. Krishna is only enjoy. We are to be enjoyed by him. Just practice this consciousness. Then it is taking out the poisonous teeth. But how it will come? Jat karunya kataka vaivadam. By the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, our Guru Varga, it will come. So without their blessing, we cannot do this. So we should pray them. When they will bless, then our senses become calm and quiet, like a cobra whose poisonous teeth are uprooted. So our senses are like dangerous poisonous teeth of cobra now. So we should take it out. Then now senses causing our downfall. Now senses causing our all problems, calamities, senses and tensions, distresses, and at the end it is causing to go to hellish planet for suffering. Why? Because now poisonous quality is there. Why? Because we have no blessing, no shelter. But when we have shelter, when we have blessing, by the blessings of Mahaprabhu and his associate our Guru Vargas, these, because they are best snake charmer, how to control. So they will give one herb which is called Gada. When you sow the Gada, then snake will go down. Similarly, when we will sow the Gada given by Gurudev, Vaishnava, our previous acharyas, that is Harinam, Harikatha, service of Guru, Vaishnava and Krishna, then that is like Gada. Then sense become down and become enthusiastic for serving and feel transcendental ecstasy. If you habituate like this, then these senses now are enemies. Then they will become friend and they will become your cause of living forever. They will help you. How to attain the valuable jewel that is Radha Dasya. They can help you. So don't kill the cobra. Who killing the cobra, he is stupid. He is not intelligent considered. But who does not kill but uproots the poisonous teeth, he is intelligent. Similarly, who is killing the senses means making dry the senses, not giving anything, putting very distressed, he is not intelligent. Who can just taking out the poisonous teeth of desire of material sense gratification and putting the desire of serving to Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu and his associates, then he is most intelligent. They are who? Our Guru workers. So it is only possible by the blessings of Mahaprabhu and his associates. So one of these upasaka, weed or what is unwanted creeper is bhukti. Then mukti also. We should not have desire to get liberation. No need separately to pray for that liberation. Why? If we chant Namahasa, automatically liberation will come in our hand. So why we will pray for liberation? So if we have desire something to get liberation in this material world, then also it is upasaka. Means weed or unwanted creeper. So it should be uprooted. And Bansha, if this desire. And Asamcha Tara Lekha. He gave only these two examples now, but there are Asancha means uncountable number of weeds and unwanted creepers which are surrounded to the devotional creeper. So if we don't uproot this problem, then what are they more beyond this? Then Mahaprabhu said to Rupa Goswami that Nishidhachara Kutinati Jiva Hinsana Labha Puja Pratisthadi Jata Upasakhagan. Don't think only these two are the weeds or unwanted creepers. There are many. But he did not explain all. He said, etc. Which are prominent, which are needed to be uprooted by us, by our own endeavor and by the blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas. That which are prominent, Mahaprabhu explained. Who are they? Already told. Liberation and enjoyment. They desire to enjoy this material. And third one is Nishidhachara. Nishidhachara. What is the meaning of this? Nishidhachara. Nishidhachara. Mahaprabhu said as it is. What is Mahaprabhu's word? Nishidhachara. Huh?
No. Bad activities.
Bad activity.
Yes.
Shaped by the Shastra.
Yes. But appropriate, I want appropriate translation.
Against the rules.
Huh? Yes, all are correct, but that is explanation. But according to the word, appropriate translation is Nishidha Achar.
Behavior which is not allowed.
Yes, almost. So, if we are not able to know this, how we will avoid it? Nishidhachara means Nishidha. Nishidhachara is a word which is made of combination of two words. They are Nishidha and Achar. Nishidha means prohibited. Yes, the day before yesterday I was speaking, probably day before yesterday I was speaking that, no here, day before yesterday I was speaking that Smartavya Satatam Vishnu Vishmartavya Nadatuchit Sarve Vidhi Nisedarshu Etareva Kinkara. I explained this. So here Nishidhachara means which is prohibited. So which is prohibited? Nishidha. And Achar means etiquettes, behaviors, activities. So which activities, behaviors and any etiquette or anything which is prohibited by our Gurudev, our Guru Parampara, Acharyas, Goswami's scriptures, we should not commit. Otherwise it will become unwanted creeper. Otherwise it will become the weed. Then it will take out all the water and it will nourish. And Bhaktilata will become stable. So what is prohibited, we should try to stop this. Although difficult at the beginning, but we should try. We should start the trying. Then slowly one day will come, sure we will be able. It is not impossible, I am telling that. Not impossible, possible, difficult. Difficult can be accepted, but impossible cannot be accepted. It is possible. Because many devotees made possible. And we have experience of this also. But it is possible because before how we were and after practicing how we are, realization is coming. So many differences there. Before becoming it and coming Krishna consciousness, what was the difficulty? And after coming Krishna consciousness and practicing under guidance of Guru and Vaishnavas, what is the experience? All of you have mastered. Sure difference is there. Means when before becoming Krishna consciousness, we were thinking impossible. But now we are not thinking impossible. Now possible or difficult. Although difficult, we have to try. When we will try again and again, difficult will become easier. So we should try. So we should try to avoid Nishidhasa. Because it is Mahaprabhu's instruction. If we don't follow Mahaprabhu's instruction, how we will attain his prem? Without Mahaprabhu's blessing, no one can give prem. Because he is only authority to give prem. Even Krishna could not. What to speak cannot, could not. That's why he was bound to come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is giving the way how to attain this. This is Nishidhasa. So we should try to give up, which is Nishidha, restricted, which is prohibited. Then Kutinati. Kutinati means duplicity, hypocrisy. We should not become hypocrite. We should not become the person of duplicities. Means we should try to show our heart clear. If someone think different thing, let him think, but in future he will understand. But try to present as we are. Then Mahaprabhu will be happy, Guru Vaishnava will be happy. Why? Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Antare Bahire Samam Vyavaha. Amani Manaka Hava. We should make our life like Antar and Bahire. What we are thinking inside, outside also act like that. Don't be duplicitous or don't be hypocrite. Then Mahaprabhu cannot be happy, Krishna will not be happy, Gurudev will not be happy. Why? Krishna can accept a greatest sinner, a greatest nonsense also. If you present in front of Krishna, he will accept. But he should say that I am nonsense. I have committed so many nonsense activities, sinful activities, please Lord, oh Krishna, please excuse me. Just present, then he will finish. Only by his vision it will destroy. But if you are very nonsense, but present, I am great devotee, then Krishna knows you are a cheater. You are cheater. Why? We can cheat others, but cannot cheat Krishna. Why? Krishna said, and Vyasdev said at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Dharma Janmadhyasya jatonvayaditarat sathe svabhigya swarat tene brahma hridajadi kavaye muyanti jasuraya tejo vari mridang jatha vinimayo jatra trisargo mrisa dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Sada nirasta kuhakam. Sada means the word Sanskrit, always, 24 hours a day, present, past and future. It is the meaning of Sada. Sada means always, always means 24 hours a day, and in the past, present and future, for always. Nirasta Kuhakam. Nirasta means very far away. It has no existence. What is that? Kuhaka means kapata, duplicity or hypocrisy. Hypocrisy and duplicity has no existence in front of Krishna. Other can exist. A greatest sinner can exist. Because if he comes and surrender, Krishna will excuse, make him pure. But one who is a hypocrite and a duplicitous, Krishna knows, he will not accept. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Antare Bahire Sama Vyavaha. we should Vaishnava. So what is Vaishnava behavior? Vaishnava is a very simple hearted. What is the meaning of simple means? What is inside, outside are saying no hypocrisy. Then amani manda ho. Antare vaire samavar. Our behavior attitude should be equal. What is inside thinking, outside also saying. Otherwise we will lose blessing. Blessing will not come. Why? Because it is symptom of Krishna. That nearest to Gokul. He does not like duplicity. He wants truth and simplicity. And how we can know simple? Who is simple? Only Brahmana quality man can become simple. Other quality and who is simple-hearted, he is in the category of Brahman. Don't think one who is in the category of Brahman caste now only he is simple. He is not following the simplicity. He is not no more only Brahman. What is the thermometer to know the Brahman? It is said in Upanishad that one day Swetaketu, there is one story that one son who was in the Gurukul, one Rishi, he asked that who is your mother, who is your father? I am not going in detail of story in Upanishad, only time over. So only I am giving the example how to become simple. In Upanishad is explained that Gurudev in Gurukul asked, oh my dear boy, student, who is your father? Then he said, Gurudev, I don't know who is my father. He said, I don't know. Then it is very strange. A son, he does not know his father's name. It is very impossible looking in this material world. Because he is going to school to study, he has knowledge. So, when a child or son getting knowledge, he knows his father from childhood. So he can speak immediately his name. But he did not speak. He said, oh Gurudev, I don't know my father's name. Then that Gurudev said, then you go and ask your mother. Then he went and asked her, mother, you tell me the name of my father because my Gurudev asking in Gurukul. Then mother said, I don't know also your father's name. So it is very strange. I don't know your father's name also. Then son asked her, how it is? Without knowing father, how you gave him birth? This is also impossible. Then mother said, mother also told the truth. Because I don't know. It means he had many husbands. She has many husbands. So from which I got you, I don't know. She said, I don't know from whom you came. Then that boy came and went to Gurukul again. Oh Gurudev, I asked it to my mother. Gurudev said, what your mother replied? Who is your father? Then he said, my mother said that she does not know who is my father. Because she has many men and from whom I came I don't. She does not know. Then Gurudev said, then you are Brahman. You are Brahman son. Arjavam Brahmana Sakya. Upanishad. Arjavam Brahmana Sakya. What is the quality of Brahmana? Arjava means simplicity. Honesty and simple. No duplicity. Means what his mother said, he presented in front of Gurudev. So, only Brahmana quality, real Brahmana can speak the truth and simple. So you are in the category of Brahman. Although you don't know your father's name, but you are Brahman. Some Brahman gave you birth. So this is called simply. And without attaining all these qualities, bhakti cannot be favorable. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Antare vaire samavyavar. Amani manada. We should be simple hearted. Then mercy will come down immediately. And amani manada. We should not desire respect from others, but we should pay respect to others. Then blessing will very easy to come down. So Nishidachara we have to give up, which are restricted. Then Kutinati means duplicity or hypocrisy. Then Jiva Hinsan. Jiva Hinsan means violence, killing animals and living entities, any living entities for our sense gratification. To gratify the tongue, people are killing, that is also Jiva Hinsan. But what is the secret meaning of Jiva Hinsa, you know?
Killing the soul.
Huh?
Killing your soul.
Yes, but that is not a complete secret. what is secret meaning given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada only. What is the secret meaning of Jiva Hinsa? This is normal meaning. Jiva Hinsa is killing the animals or any living entity for our sense gratification. Means to gratify the tongue, we are killing animals and eating the meat. This is Jiva Hinsa. This is common. It is well known to everyone. And little superior is to kill the soul. But soul cannot be killed, but to degrade the soul. That is also Jiva Hinsa. But this is also very common to know. But what is the secret meaning of Jiva Hinsa, which you cannot find without blessings of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada? Huh?
Instructing
Yes,
anything other than pure bhakti.
Huh?
Anything other than Sudha bhakti is Jiva Hinsa.
No, that is not pure devotion. But Jiva Hinsa has some different definition.
To not to spread the word of Sriman Mahaprabhu to other jivas, to not preach Krishna consciousness is doing Jiva Hinsa. According to this report,
Yes, that's true. But little present in proper way. This is correct. But some addition necessary. Yes. So now there is no time. The time is running. So today is last class. So I request till 8, okay? Huh? Okay. Because this is very important. Unless we know this, we cannot improve. That is problem. That's the problem of our improvement. If these are due to these problems, we are not improving. So, what is the real meaning of and secret meaning of Jiva Hinsa given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada that said, without preaching pure Krishna consciousness, that is pure devotion, without preaching and allowing and letting to non-bona fide sampradayas like Karmi, Jnani, Yogi and so many nonsense philosophies to let to spread in the world is called Jiva Hinsa. Because we are letting them to do the bed of all jivas. So we are violent to jivas. Yes. Because if you don't preach pure, then impurity will come automatically. But if purity is there, impurity will go automatically. So this is also Jiva Hinsa. That's why one who does not preach the purity, he is committing Jiva Hinsa. It is very, very strong and deepest meaning. Yeah? Yeah, we will grow. So when we are not doing this, then we are committing Jiva Hinsa. Compromising. Then Jiva Hinsa is there. Because we are allowing the impurity. So that which is not beneficial for him, we are killing him. We are killing him means we are killing the soul, means degrading the soul, letting them to observe in the impurity, which will cause them to be degraded in this material world for suffering. So according to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, without preaching the pure Krishna consciousness, which is pure Bhakti Dharma, means pure Bhakti Dharma, and letting non-bona fide sampradayas, non-bona fide philosophies which are causing problem to the material world and degrading the living entities and spreading whole world. So if we are tolerating, letting, then this is one kind of Jiva Hinsa, which is very secret and deepest. So we should try to our best. Then we will free from Jiva Hinsa. And if we don't do this, then we are coming in the Jiva Hinsa stage. Although we are not killing animals. If we kill animals, that is Jiva Hinsa, but this is external. But without killing else animal, we will come in the category of Jiva Hinsa. Unless we try to present the pure philosophy, purity of our Guru Vargas. Then it is Jiva Hinsa. Why? Because we are killing other living entities, like conditioned human beings. They are ignorant, they don't know, and we are silent. They don't know because Krishna has sent them to attain the highest transcendental service of Krishna. But we are letting them to do the service of Maya and go to hellish planet. In our presence we know this and we are letting. So we are killing him, we are degrading him. So this is also one kind of Jiva Hinsa. According to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada commentary, which is very secret and deepest meaning. So we should give up this. Then what is more upasaka or weed or unwanted creeper? Labha, puja, pratishtha. लाभ पूजा प्रतिष्ठा भी जत उपशाखा गण मीन्स लाभ मीन्स the greediness to gain the material things from material people, and that is also Prabhupada become very strong to sell the mantra, to sell the harinam, to sell any devotional limb, to get money from the public like business. Give this mantra, if you give this pandit, then I will give this mantra. If you give this pandit, I will give this harikatha. Those who are doing this is also coming in the category of love. Love means to attain material benefit by exchange of harinama, harikatha, etc. We should not make business with harikatha. We should not make business with harinam. Then it is coming in the category of lava, which is upasaka. You speak for benefit of people. What Krishna will give, that's all. But we should not have greediness in exchange of money, in exchange of harikatha, harinam together. Then it is love. Then puja. Puja means the desire to get adoration from the public. Oh, people should come and worship me like God, worship my lotus feet, worship me like God. So if this propensity is inside, then it is called puja. Really, we are unqualified to accept any puja, any worshipping or any adoration. All worshipping should be gone towards Guru, Vaishnava and Krishna. But if we offer them, automatically all will come. But we should not think that we are qualified for that. I am qualified, so this is coming to me. And when we desire to get this, then it is also upasaka. Then bhakti will not nourish. If we offer everything to them, automatically they are very grateful. We may become ungrateful, but they are grateful. They will give such a quantity we cannot digest this. Automatically they will give because they are not ungrateful. If we speak their glories, if we worship them, if we spread His glories for worshipping, then they will return this automatically. But we should not have propensity to get adoration from people. Then it is coming in the category of puja and pratishtha. Pratishtha means we should not have a desire that I am the great in whole world. I am superior to everyone. I am superior. This propensity. I want to be superior. I want to show this. No. Really, we are not superior. All superior are our Guru Vargas, Acharyas and Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna. We are very insignificant. But only we should think that they are superior, then they will make us superior automatically. We should not have propensity to get that and to get that thinking that we are superior. And we should not try to present that we are superior, only I am the superior everything. No need to speak, automatically it will come. Because if we present them, they are superior, all are doing there, they are doing everything. But when we desire this pratishtha, name and fame, then also it is upasaka. If we don't want, it will come automatically. Madhavendra Puri was not desiring, but pratishtha was following to him. He was trying to hide, but you cannot hide. Because Gopinath is very clever. When Gopinath stole, by his pure devotion, when Gopinath stole the milk pot for him and spoke to Pujari, then Pujari came to know that he stole the milk pot for his beloved devotee Madhavendra Puri, then he declared in the public. When he came to know that Pujari brought the milk pot, then he came to know that now my glories will be spread in this area of Remuna. So I should leave this place early in the morning before people waking up. Then he left that place. But by leaving us, you cannot stop the pratishtha, name and fame, because Gopinath sent him. So he became very, very famous. Wherever he was going, people were following. Oh, Gopinath, Madhavendra Puri is great devotee. Madhavendra Puri is a great devotee. Jaro lagi Gopinath koilo khiro chori. For whom even Gopinath stole milk pot. We have no experience of this before. So this glory spread automatically, and Madhavendra Puri was not desiring. So if you don't desire also, pratishtha will be given by Krishna. But if we desire, although we are unqualified desire, then he may not give, and if gives also, it will not be blissful, it will create many problems and distresses and tension. And it cannot nourish the creeper. So these are the unwanted creepers or weeds which we need to be uprooted. So I am not going, etc. Like this there are many. Yes. Like there are many. Not, I am what Mahaprabhu put the names I am giving, but he put the Adi. Adi means you can add many, etc. Adi means etc. Don't think only this. If only this, he would not have used the word Adi. Adi means etc. So etc. means there is something more. Why? In the previous line he said asamkhya means uncountable. Then what will happen if we don't uproot this? What will happen? If we don't uproot, what will happen? Seko jala paya upa sakha bade jay. Mula stabdaya mula sakha badite na apaye. If we don't uproot these unwanted creepers or weeds, what will happen? What will happen? Na seko jala. Every day we are nourishing, watering. When every day watering, all water will be taken out by all the weeds and unwanted creepers. And creeper cannot get because creeper is very soft and sensitive. He cannot quarrel and snans. Creeper cannot snans and quarrel. They are very strong, very strong and very powerful. So they cannot snans from creeper. So creeper, you are watering, but creeper is not getting anything. All weeds are taking away. Similarly, devotion also very soft, tender. So she has no propensity of quarreling or sensing anything. So when all these weeds are present, whatever we are watering means that Shravan and Kirtan. Whatever we are listening, whatever we are chanting, all are being taken by all these unwanted things. So they will be nourishing. And stabdaya mulasaka baditena pai. Then mulasaka means the original creeper, which is a devotional creeper, becomes stabdha, means stable. No moving, non-moving. Stable, steady, completely, not moving, improving 1.1 inner. Yeah. One what is it? The lowest quantity measurement. 1 millimeter you take. Yes. So 1 millimeter also it will not improve. Because becomes stabdha. Stabdha means complete stable, steady. Stagnant. So then what will happen? Then all the branches will be or weeds will be nourished. Yes. Then what to do? Prathamei upasakar karai chedan. Who is intelligent? Who will prathamei means at the beginning. Prathamei. Mahaprabhu said to Rupa, prathamei, since beginning. At the beginning, upasakar karai chedan. We should cut all the branches and these unwanted creepers and unwanted grasses. We should uproot and cut. Then what will happen? Tabe jai mulasakha badhite jai Vrindavan. Then the original root or creeper, which is called Bhaktilata Bija, will nourish and go and penetrate to universe and when will go to Vrindavan. So then Prema phala paki pade mali aspada lakta avalambi mali kalpa vriksha pai. When we will uproot all the unwanted upasakas or weeds or creepers, then what will happen? Then it will go to Golok Vrindavan. The creeper cannot be stopped by anyone. If anyone coming to stop, the creeper will penetrate because it is very powerful if we nourish regularly. So no one can stop this. Only Vaishnava fans and these are south sakhas or upasakas or weeds or unwanted creepers. Then when it will go to Vrindavan, what will happen? Prema phala paki pade. There it will give the fruit of prema. When that fruit of prema will be ripened, then it will fall down. And the lakta avalambi mali karyaspadam. And the person, gardener, who is taking shelter and holding to the creeper, he will go to Vrindavan also. By shelter, by holding, this creeper will take to Vrindavan. Taha kalpa vrukhyar kare sevan. when he will go by the shelter of this creeper to Golok Vrindavan, then there he will have opportunity or she will have opportunity to serve Radha Krishna, to taste this. Then Bhakti, Prema, Phala, Rasa, say Kaya Aspadam. Then he will be qualified to relish complete the sweetness of Prema, which is called transcendental loving service of divine couple. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simultaneously. So it is proved by Mahaprabhu, if you go deeply in this, that when we will go there, then only we will have a sufficient Prema. But then what about yesterday doubt, now here we will clear out, before the doubt. Devotee has Prema here or not? Here Prema, but not complete. How? Prema phala paki pade, mali aspade. Which fruits are Prema from Kalpavriksha of the desire tree? Who is the desire tree? Krishna. When this creeper will go to Golok Vrindavan, where this creeper will take shelter? At the lotus feet of Krishna. When it will take shelter, then there it will spread more. When spread more and surround to Krishna's body and lotus feet, then this creeper will give the fruit. That is called Prem Phala. When that Prem fruit will be ripened, then it will, when fruit becomes completely ripened, then it is falling down. When it is falling down in this planet, then Mali can take and eat. Then he can taste it, release. But fruit will not come down, no Prem possible, no releasement possible. So here it is proved that if we will not water it, no Prem will go. Impossible. So if one who is regularly watering and uprooting all the unwanted and creepers and weeds and making fans very strongly not to come any mad elephant like Vaishnava fans, then by regular performance of watering like Shravan and the Kirtan, then it will go to Golok Vrindavan, then give the Prem fruit. After ripening, it will fall down. Although Mali, the gardener is in this planet, but he will have some opportunity to taste therefore ripened fruit of Prem. But he has no right to pluck the fruit from the tree. Why tree is in Golok Vrindavan and he is here. So when fruit becomes complete ripened and when fruits ripening, automatically falling down. It cannot stay long time. So which fruit is falling down automatically by ripening condition, then Mali will take and release. So he has some access to release some Prem, not complete. But when go to Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan, taha Kalpavriksha kare sevan. There is the opportunity of serving the Kalpavriksha, which is Radha Krishna's lotus feet, directly. And there he can pluck the fruit and release. Take the fruit from trunk and release. But here no ability to pluck. But which will fall down he can release. Means some percentage of Prem is possible to release here. But not completely. And exactly like that. This is the proof given by Mahaprabhu, indication here.
So that's like Bob's stick.
Yes. Because after nourishing only Bhav will come. If these obstacles and offenses, then it will not nourish, so no Prem will come. Yes. 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 For them no problem. Because they came down, they can again go. For sadhana siddha, no possible. Sadhana siddha no possible. Only they can, if they properly watering, then they will have opportunity of some releasement. Yeah. Which are coming down automatically after falling down from that tree, of desire tree of Krishna's lotus feet. So, eita parama phala parama purusat jara age trunatulya chari purusarth. Eita parama phala. This is the extreme, absolute ripened fruit of what is desire tree of Krishna Prem. Means Prem is the parama phala. Means the extreme and ultimate fruit of our watering. And our the bija, root which we sowed inside the heart. What is the ultimate fruit? It is the parama phala. Parama means the ultimate fruit. And parama purusartha, the destination of our all endeavor and all destination. That is called prema. And jara age trunantulya chari purusartha. Now we have no prem, that's why we have many desires. But when we will have prema, then what will happen? Chari purusha, dharma, artha, kama, all will become trina, like a insignificant grass on which everyone putting their head. But now, sense gratification becoming prominent to us. What to speak about liberation? Sense gratification, dharma, artha, kama, all becoming prominent and very difficult to give up this. When becoming difficult to give up this means we are under this and we are thinking this is the superior. But when prema will have 1% of releasement, then in front of prema these four, dharma, artha, kama and all any other thing of this material world will become like a very fallen grass on which even animal, bird, beast are putting their legs, which is very insignificant. Become very insignificant. Why? Because in front of prema they are nothing. But we have no prem now, we have no taste of or releasement of prem. That's why we are paying more importance to all these. So when we will nourish, we will have the taste of that releasement, then all these become very, very easier to forget. Why? When we will go to bhava stage, then it will we start to release. Why? In bhava stage, what is the symptom? Klesagni, Subhada, Moksha Lagutakur, Sudurlava. Moksha, liberation will become insignificant. But in sadhana stage, moksha you cannot make insignificant. What to speak about sense gratification? Moksha is also not becoming insignificant. So, we are influenced by the sense gratification and liberation. But when we will attain to bhava stage, when Rupa Goswami was explaining bhava stage, then he wrote Moksha Lagutakur Sudurlava. So what Mahaprabhu said this, Rupa Goswami explained Bhakti Rasamrita in detail. That when this stage will come and all these sense gratification like dharma, artha, kam and moksha will become very insignificant when we will have this opportunity of releasing the ripened fruit fell down from the desire tree of Krishna's lotus feet, which is called prema. And when Mali, the gardener who is watering in this earth planet by bhajan, by Shravan and Kirtan, when he will take out means some particle or spark will come and manifest in the heart, then he will feel what is prema. But only that, like what Narada felt, like spark, like spurti, etc. Yes, but he cannot have more chance to plug again to eat, because no right, fruit is there. So how we can realize? When we will have bhava stage. How will you go to bhava stage? When we regularly water the tree or devotional creeper. Then adu shraddha, tata sadhu sangha, tata bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava prema. Then Mahaprabhu said, No problem? No problem? Huh? Okay. Then 15 more. 10 minutes more. 10 minutes more. 10 minutes, but all now I will make conclude. Because there are many things which cannot be explained all. If we take one, then take 1 hour. We are now very interested and important topic coming. So then Mahaprabhu said, because I want to complete this and conclude all. Then Rupa Goswami said, Shuddha Bhakti heta hai prema utpan. Shuddha Bhakti rata hai kahite lakshan. Means, then Mahaprabhu said, Oh Rupa, if one practices Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion, then only prema will come. Mahaprabhu clearly told, Shuddha Bhakti hete. Without pure devotion, no one has right to get prema. Mahaprabhu's instruction. If someone says, any devotion you practice, you will have prema, it is quite wrong. Speculation. Because Mahaprabhu said Shuddha Bhakti. By pure devotion only prema will come. If we are unable to practice now pure, then we should try to make ourselves pure. By giving up all these which is contaminating the devotion, we should try to avoid what I explained according to instruction of Mahaprabhu. Then we will become pure. Then we will have qualification to attain prema. Otherwise impossible, because Mahaprabhu denied. Shuddha Bhakti hoite hai prema utpam. By pure devotion only, we will have opportunity to attain prema and to release the prema of Radha Krishna and Mahaprabhu. So he quoted one verse. Anyabhyasita sunyam jnana karma janavrutam anukulyena krishnanusidanam bhaktiruttama, which is very famous. No, I am not going to explain, and no time has to explain. All of you know this. And I had a long explanation in Alachua. Many of our devotees who were present there, they listened. But now we have no time to explain in detail. But this is the original verse. So Rupa Goswami did not write this. This is Mahaprabhu's verse. Because Mahaprabhu spoke this. And he put in Bhakti Rasam Sindhoni. Yes. So this is the original verse given by Mahaprabhu. Psalms he added, expanded. But it is the original verse. So it is not Rupa Goswami's verse. Now we should know that. It is not Rupa Goswami, it is Mahaprabhu's verse. And he got from Mahaprabhu, presented in front of us.
Word for word is Mahaprabhu's verse, or
Word.
Word for word.
This verse, Anyam Bhyasita Sunyam Jnana Karma Janamrutam Anukulyena Krishnanusilana Bhaktiruttama. It is Mahaprabhu's verse. Yeah. Mahaprabhu gave this verse. After that, to explain this, he made many commentaries and explanation. That is Rupa Goswami given. Because Mahaprabhu, it was Mahaprabhu's order to expand this. Then he said in this verse, what is the definition of pure devotion? Then he said, if one is not practicing pure devotion, then he cannot have prema. Why? Then Mahaprabhu quoted one more verse. Bhukti mukti spruha java pisache hridi vartate tavad bhakti sukha shastra katham abhyudaya bhavet. Means one who in whose heart the which of bhukti and mukti, about which I explained before, is present, which is considered like a witch, then how the transcendental love and prem is able to manifest inside the heart, because already witch is occupied the heart. So when witch is occupied the heart, for prem there is no place. So prem cannot appear. So to make the appearance of prem inside the heart, we should take out this witch of the desire to gratify the senses and the desire to get the liberation and other unwanted creepers. Then Mahaprabhu said, if one practices Sudha Bhakti, pure devotion, then sadhana bhakti haita hai ratira uday. When we will practice again and again sadhana bhakti and continue the nourishment of watering the creeper like Shravan and Kirtan, then it will give after sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti. Then after bhava, prema, sneha, mana, pranaya. Then after sneha, mana, pranaya, then raga, anuraga, then bhava, then mahabhava, then rudha mahabhava, adhirudha mahabhava, then monaksha mahabhava, madanaksha mahabhava, which is topmost one, which is present only in Radharani, even not in Krishna. It is the power of a devotional creeper it can give. Then Mahaprabhu explained to Rupa Goswami that there are two kinds of devotees who are getting all these prema. One is Aishwarya Mishra, second is Suddha, Madhurya. In Aishwarya, Krishna has no attraction. One cannot dominate Krishna. But in Madhurya, one can dominate Krishna. Control. If he says, he or she says, Krishna, you dance, he is bound to dance. But in Aishwarya mood, one cannot make Krishna dance. Why? There are examples Mahaprabhu given. For example, beginning from Dasya, there are 5 kinds of rasas. I am first explaining all the Madhurya and Aishwarya difference, then 2 rasas. Then in Aishwarya Mishra devotion mixed with the Aishwarya opulence, because in Dasya almost all are under control of Krishna. So in Dasya there is no controlling to Krishna. So really domination is starting from Saksha and Vatsalya and Madhurya. And it is starting from Saksha. So Dasya is no power to control Krishna. So that is why Mahaprabhu said only this can happen only, but real domination coming from Saksha. Why? How it happened? There is proof. Mahaprabhu gave. When Saksha Rasa, Arjuna saw the Vishwarupa of Krishna, the universal form, then Arjuna forgot that Krishna is my friend. Then immediately he started praying. Sakheti matta prasavam jaduktam. Hey Krishna, hey Jadava, hey Sakheti. I am not going to explain that Arjuna, before he was thinking Krishna is my friend, and he was not fearing at all. He was sleeping together with Krishna. He was eating together with Krishna. He was ordering to Krishna to drive the chariot. But till when he had not seen the universal form of Krishna, after looking universal form of Krishna, then Arjuna became fearful and started folding the hands. Before was giving order, now order finished. Now started folding hands and started praying. Ajanata mahimanam taveda. Without knowing your glories and influence, I have committed many offenses and mistakes. Please excuse. Tat khamaya. Please excuse me due to the opulence. But I am same time I am comparing. It will become very easier. But when in Vrindavan, Sridham and Subal, they were listening that Krishna said, I am Supreme Personal Godhead and I lifted Giriraj Govardhan. Then Sridham said, you could not lift Govardhan. We helped you. We helped you. You don't think that you yourself lifted the Giriraj Govardhan. We are helped by stick. So you don't think that all credit should not go to you. Then Krishna, no, I did this. Then Sridham said, no, you are not greater than me. You are not superior to me. Tumi kon bada log? Ami toma sama. Means I know you are not greater than me. You are not superior to me. You are equal to me. Even sometimes inferior. Sridham has this right. Arjuna has no right this. So now we should know what is the significance of Gurudev. And he gave this Braja Prema. Why? Only by this Braja Prema we can make dominant to Krishna. But by opulence mixed Prema we cannot. Arjuna could not. That's why by Vaidhi Bhakti we cannot control Krishna. Only by Braja Bhakti. So if we follow the devotion mixed with Aishwarya and opulence, we cannot control Krishna. Krishna may not stay in front of us. And he will frighten us like to Arjuna. Like yesterday, Raghunath Das was saying, day before yesterday, oh Radharani, I don't want Krishna alone. Why? Because he is Bhakari. Bhakari, he is killing the demons. So he will also frighten me. Because if you are not present, looking the solitary place and I am alone, so he will frighten me. But if you are present, you are my shelters. So in presence of you, he has no right to frighten me. No problem. So I want to him if you are present there. So it is only possible in Braja Prema. But when Arjuna saw, Arjuna could not. Now come to the parental mood, parental Vatsalya. When Krishna was in Mathura, when he killed to Kansa, then he released it to Devaki and Vasudeva from the prison, and Ugrasena also. When they released, then Krishna and Balaram, they went to do Dandavat, because before that they have no opportunity. They were not free. They had distress and tension over it. So now when Kamsa died, everything was solved, no tension, no problem, no distress. Now they are very free to offer their obeisances to Devaki and Vasudeva. When Krishna and Balaram, they were going to offer obeisances, then Devaki Vasudeva, they became fearful. No need to this. We are not qualified to accept this. You are God. So they started praying to Krishna and Balaram. But you come to the Braja, to Mother Josoda, when Krishna says, Mother, you know, I am God. Then Mother, I know who you are, how God, I will beat you now. You are God. Mother Josoda taking stick to beat. You are God. You don't commit the offense to God is our Lord Narayana. You cannot be God in front of me. I know who are you. You are a thief. You are stealing it. Always complaint coming from gopis, from our neighbors. How we can God? God is not never stealing. And you are not God because you are always hungry. Early in the morning, oh Maya, give makan, give butter. God has no hunger and thirst. Ashtadasa dosaha navadhyati ishvara kochi. 18 defects is not present in the God. 18 defects which is present in Bhagaji, that is not in Krishna. But in you, I think more than 18%. So So you cannot be God in front of me. If you speak more, I will beat you. But Mother Josoda, the Devaki could not do. And Father Vasudev could not do. Nanda Baba can do this. Now come to Madhurya. In Madhurya, when time over,
Los Angeles, 3 hours.
But flow is coming, Rupa was sending the flow, and Mahaprabhu was sending the flow. Huh? And Gurudev, Prabhupada all giving flow. And Mahaprabhu also telling, you speak. Mahaprabhu also flowing, sending the flow, you speak. Then come to the point of Madhurya. In Dwaraka, when Krishna was there, one day Satyabhama did man. Sulky mood, came in sulky mood. Why? Because Krishna was thinking always Radhe, 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 all gopis, Brajavasis. He was remembering. And one time he was screaming, Radhe, Radhe, Gopi, Lalita, Vishakha. He was screaming. When it is a symptom of human form, that if husband thinking or repeating any other lady's name, cannot tolerate. This is normal symptom of human. This is contrary. This is not this is not artificial. This is okay for this maintenance. So no problem. But when Krishna was addressing Lalita, Vishakha, Chitra, Kambolata, Radharani, then after listening these words, Satyabhama became unhappy and became very angry, came to the mood of sulky mood. And in ancient time, all kings they had separate room. It was written Kopo Bhavana. Well, all kings were very expert because they knew that in future my queen will be angry mood. So when she will be angry, it is not good in front of everyone. So for her privacy, to subdue the man, they had arrangement before. In ancient all kings. A special room for man. So sulky mood cannot be everywhere. Yes. So there was written Kopo Bhavana. So when Krishna saw that Satyabhama is not in the room today, if Satyabhama is not in the room, then next step of king to find the Kopo Bhavana is empty or full. Then Krishna went to see that Satyabhama was in the Kopo Bhavana. When Krishna entered, oh, Satyabhama, how are you? Then she became like, did not see to Krishna and became angry. Then Krishna thought, why you are became angry? Why you are in sulky mood? Tell me the reason. Then Satyabhama said, what you were screaming yesterday? What you were screaming? Who is Lalita? Who is Vishakha? Who is Radha? We are 16,180 are here. You are not satisfied? We are here to please you 16,108 present. Every moment. Whenever you call, we are ready. But still you are screaming. Why? Then Krishna became. Krishna went out. After listening this, he went out from the room to the other place. Then he ordered to the maidservant, you bring Satyajita's daughter. Satyajita's daughter. Satyabhama. He said, not Satyabhama. Satyajita's daughter. Because now he is not in the form of Satyabhama. You bring Satyajita's daughter. Why? Because Satyajita misunderstanding. He once scolded and be blasphemed to Krishna for Samantavajan by due to misunderstanding. Really Krishna had not stolen, but he blasphemed to Krishna. And his father's quality is there here. So, father of Satyabhama, Satyajit. So, he ordered to the maidservant, you call to the daughter of Satyajit. Then maidservant called, oh, my queen, Satyabhama, now Krishna is asking. Then she said, no, I don't want to go now. Then she returned. Then she asked to Krishna. Krishna asked, what did happen? What she told? Then she said, she did not agree to come. Okay, let me go. Again Krishna went. When Krishna went, he said, why you are not coming? Then Satyama said, you tell me why you were screaming yesterday. Then Krishna said, you want to learn? Then I want to teach you now. You have no right of sulky mood now. Who said you to come in sulky mood now? You have no authorization now to come in the sulky mood for this matter. Why? Do you know who Brajavasis are? What you are thinking, Brajavasis? If one Brajavasi will be pleased by uttering his name or going there, only one Brajavasi. It does not matter who is, beginning from all rasas. Any Brajavasi, beginning from Dasya rasa or Sakya rasa, any Brajavasi, not only Gopi and Radharani. If any Brajavasi will be pleased by me, by this kind of address or reciting, like Lalita, Vishaka, Siddhama, Subhana, Bhavananda, Mother Josuda, like this, if they are pleased, I am ready to do this. And if you are coming in sulky mood, I am ready to give up you all 16,108. You go, get out from here out. To please one Brajavasi, I am ready to give up you all. You see how glorious Brajavasis are. Krishna said, to give up you, all of you, I can give up only for one Brajavasi. Why? Because your sulky mood is improper now. Why? Before you did mano, that was proper. Before you did mano, that was proper. I am accepting. Why? Before what was your mano? When Narada brought Parijat flower, he gave to Rukmini, and you came in sulky mood. That was proper. Because it was a comparison between among you all. So among you all, it was proper. So I was ready to please you. But what you are now doing mano is improper. So if you are continuing this mano, I am ready to give you all. Give up you all. Go from here, all of you. Yeah, go back to your father. No need to stay here. I can go to Brajavasis again. So this is the, in front of Satyama, Krishna can say this. But in front of Radharani, Lalita, Vishaka, any Gopi, Nanda Baba, Joseph cannot see. Siddham Sula in front of Krishna cannot say this. So this is the glories and efficacies and significance of Madhurya. Then Krishna thought, okay, once or twice at least I relished the sweetness of sulky mood of Satyavama. But till now I could not taste and relish the sweetness of sulky mood of Rukmini. Satyavama exhibited some sulky mood. One time did mistake, okay, and second time it was proper, I released it. No problem. But till now I could not release the sweetness of sulky mood of Rukmini. So I want to release that. So one day, now Satyavama was present in the room. Rukmini. Rukmini was present in the room and she was messaging and fanning to Krishna. Then Krishna asked her, Satyavama, Rukmini, I want to ask you one thing. Are you agree? Then Rukmini said, yes. Who said that I am not agree? No, if you are agree, I can ask you. Then Krishna said, really, I am improper candidate to become your husband. Krishna said, I am improper candidate to become your husband. Really, Shishupala was improper candidate for you. It was emergency case, so I accepted you. Why? What was the emergency? Because you wrote one letter, love letter. You wrote one letter and you prayed to me that I am in emergency. If you would not come, then Shishupala will take me away. I don't want that. So that was emergency case to please you, to keep your words. Then I accepted you as wife. But now Shishupala has no problem and Jarasandha no problem. Now everything is okay and I am also agree. If you are Then he Krishna said, but really marriage is Kanyantu Pitrudaktahi. According to Vedic culture and Indian culture, Kanyantu Pitrudaktahi. Means according to Indian culture and Vedic culture, father will arrange the marriage ceremony of daughter. So father will hand over Kanya Dana, no Vivah, no marriage. Kanya Dana means father will donate the daughter to husband. To husband's party, father will donate. So he will give dowry, arrangement, all expenses, everything. So I know your father and your brother all were desiring, and it was already selected for you Shishupal. But it is Shishupal's misfortune that he could not. Because due to me he could not get you. But I think now it is improper to give you forcefully. Because it was forcefully I brought you, which Shishupal was not desiring. But now I am letting you, if you are desiring, you can go to Shishupal. I am free now, because I know your father, your brother, they are desiring to you to give Shishupal, and I made obstacle to Shishupal. But now I am thinking that if you are desiring to go to Shishupal, then you can go. I have no problem. When Rukmini listened to this, that Krishna sending to her to Shishupal, then she became fearful that Krishna will give up me. Then immediately came in the opulence mood and she became fainted. She fell down. When she fell down, immediately Krishna became 4-armed form. And by 2 arms he hold Rukmini. And by other 2 arms he cleaned the face of perspiration, etc. Then she came to external consciousness. Then when she came to external consciousness, then Krishna said, oh Rukmini, I was joking, but you thought it is real. I was joking. By joking you became fearful and fainted. So I think sulky mood is not proper for you. Satyama is fit for sulky mood. But still Satyama is not perfect. If you go to Vrindavan, if you see what sulky mood, you can know. So like this, in Madhurya Rasa also Satyama and Rukmini became fainted when he saw the Krishna's opulence, etc. and fearing to giving up. But if in Vrindavan, Krishna says, I want to go also. What to speak to give up them? Krishna is very hungry to meet them. There is no chance of giving up. Krishna is praying, oh, Japkin Karesu Khalsa Bahu Kakavani. When Radharani sometime in sulky mood, Krishna is trying to go to the groves, then Rupamanjari and other monsters they are stopping. No entry, stop here. Krishna is praying, oh please Rupamanjari, Yatimanjari, oh Manjari, please allow me to go to your mistress Radharani. So Krishna is folded and praying. So this is the significance of Madhurya. So like this, Mahaprabhu explained all the rasas. There are 12 rasas. There are 5 prominent, which are principal, and 7 gauna, which are 5 are Santa, Dasya, Swachha, Vatsalya, Madhura, and 7 ordinary or secondary are Hasya, Adbhuta, Veera, Karuna, Raudra, Bhayanaka, Vivatsa. Then Mahaprabhu said, in Santarasa, there is only one quality. That is Krishna Nishtha and Krishna Pyar. Means they have no material desire. But they have Nishtha on Krishna. But they have no relation with Krishna. So it is not superior. So Dasya Rasa is superior to Santarasa. Why? In Dasya Rasa there are 2 qualities. That is Krishna Nishtha and Seva. Seva. In Santarasa no Seva. Why? In Santarasa they have no relation that Krishna is Supreme Personality Godhead and I am his servant. So if no servant, no service. So they think Krishna is Paramatma. Krishna is God. And Krishna is Aptakama, Atmarama. So he does not need anything. So they don't render service. So real service starts from Dasya. So Dasya is 2 qualities. And in Sakhya, 3 qualities. What is present in Santa, what is present in Dasya, all these 2 are present and extra 1 more. What is that? Vishrama Seva. More intimacy is there, more love and affection is there. So they can render more service. I am not going in detail all. Then Vatsalya. Vatsalya has four qualities. Four qualities. What is present in Santa, what is present in Dasya, what is present in Vatsalya. No, what is present in Santa, Dasya and Sakya, that is present in Vatsalya. So what is it more in Vatsalya? That is Tarana and Bhatsam. Sakha cannot punish. Because Sakha thinking, friend thinking equal. To me, Amisam. Means you are equal to me. When one is thinking equal, he has no right to chastise. But Mother Jasoda, in parental mood thinking, Krishna is inferior, I am superior. But Sakha does not think I am superior. You are equal to me. To me, Amisama. So there no Tadan Bhatsam. But in Vatsalya, Tadan Bhatsam is there. If necessary, they can punish Krishna. But in Madhurya, five qualities. What is present in Santa, what is present in Dasya, what is present in Sakya, what is present in Madhurya, Vatsalya, all four are present, and extra one, what is special quality which is not present in other rasas, that is Nijanga Diya Kare Na Seva. Means in Madhurya rasa by own body, devotee is doing service of Krishna, which is not present in other rasas. अतएव मधुरे सब भाव समाहार, अतएव मधुर रसे सब भाव समाहार, अतएव स्वादाधिक्य करे चमत्कार. That is why in Madhurya rasa all the bhavs, all quality are present simultaneously together in highest form, full form. That is why Aspadya, अतएव Aspadya करे चमत्कार. That is why the relishment is चमत्कार is very wonderful and very surprise, blissful. Yes, astonishing also, chamatkar. So which is not present in other rasas. That is why Madhurya rasa is the topmost one, by which all qualities of all rasas are present, and which is surprising, astonishing, and making blissful completely to Krishna. Then Mahaprabhu said to Rupa Goswami, "O Rupa, about this, it is impossible to complete this. I instructed you briefly, but you vistar it. You expand this. What I have spoken you within 10 days, briefly, you expand this. Make it bigger form." Then Rupa Goswami said, "How it is possible? Without your blessing." Then Mahaprabhu said, "Yes, I am blessing. How it is possible? I am giving you the process. Then you think of Krishna. When you think of Krishna and pray to Him, then it will manifest inside your heart. Then you can see and you can expand it. By His blessing, when you think, then it will reveal and you can expand." Then Rupa Goswami said, "Yes, by your blessing I can do, if you bless." Then Mahaprabhu said, "Yes, I am blessing." Then he asked you come. Then Mahaprabhu embraced Rupa Goswami. By embracing, he imparted his blessing to Rupa Goswami again. Then by this imparting the power to Rupa Goswami got all the power, how to expand. Then Mahaprabhu said, "Now already 10 days passed. Then I have to go to Kashi, Varanasi, nowadays Banaras." So he wanted to go. When he decided to go, then he stopped the teaching. Then early in the morning, Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Kashi. Then Rupa Goswami went to do Dandavat to him. When he offered his Dandavat and obeisances, then Mahaprabhu said, "Yes, you are okay?" Then Rupa Goswami said, "Not I am okay." Why? Because if you are allowed and blessed, I want to go with you. We both of us, we want to go with you. Then Mahaprabhu said, "No, what I am instructing, you should follow. Then I will please you. Don't do what you are desiring, but you do what I am desiring. My desire is, you don't come with me, you go to Vrindavan. And now, to go to Vrindavan with you will become easier. Why? You are near to Vrindavan, very close. Prayag is close to Vrindavan. Within one day you can go to Vrindavan from Prayag. So, now you are very close, you can go." Then Rupa Goswami became in the mood of separation, but Mahaprabhu's order, so he followed. Then that Brahman came and invited to Mahaprabhu to go to Kashi. Then that Brahman went to the boat, then Mahaprabhu was going, then Rupa Goswami started to go to Vrindavan. Then they arrived in the Kashi. At that time Chandrasekhar Acharya came because he had dreamed that Mahaprabhu came to Kashi. Then he immediately came to meet Mahaprabhu. Then he saw to Mahaprabhu. Then he invited to his house. Then Mahaprabhu stayed there. Then Tapan Mishra came. When Tapan Mishra came to know that Mahaprabhu was in the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, then he came and met there, did Dandavat. Then Mahaprabhu became very happy. Then Tapan Mishra requested to Mahaprabhu, "Oh Mahaprabhu, I have one humble request to you." Then Mahaprabhu said, "What?" Then he said, "As long as you are in the Kashi, please accept my invitation. Every day I have invitation to take prasad at my home." Then Mahaprabhu thought, "Oh yes, now I have come here for a few days, better I can take prasad at your home." So he accepted that invitation, but he was staying in the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, but taking prasad in Tapan Mishra. When he was at the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, then the news of Mahaprabhu's arrival was spread in whole Kashi city. Then all great personalities who were learned scholars, brahmanas, pandits, they came to Mahaprabhu to meet and take his blessings. So all met and Mahaprabhu stayed there for 2 months. Then Sanatana Goswami came and he gave teaching to Sanatana Goswami for 2 months. By this, Kaviraj Goswami saying, who will listen the glories of Rupa Siksha given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami, he will have prem to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. By listening only. Because he will bless us. So, by this, Kaviraj Goswami ending the glories of Rupa Siksha. So, by according to our qualification, according to our ability, according to our time and possibility, we discussed the glorification of Rupa Goswami. So all the credit and fruits I want to offer to Gurudev, Prabhupada and all, and special to Rupa Goswami. Let them be happy and bless us to render their service more and more. And I am thanking to all devotees to bless me so that I can do the service of our Guru Vargas and please them, special Rupa and Rupa Mandiri. Then my life will be successful. One Sapavatar
Very good, very good. Perfect.